Yo, what's up, lads and ladies? Good evening. How's it going? I'm doing all right. Right, this one's going to be a classical patch note review. For some reason, half of this patch notes is Dave the Diver, which is an event that we already have, so this will be nice and quick. Part 1, Legion Champions. If you are unaware what Legion Champions are, this is a new mid-core to endgame system where you will designate on release for us 3 characters to be your champions. You will unlock the additional champion slot 2 and 3 by doing missions on your main. These missions are killing bosses. The example they'll show you here is Lotus. The way this works is you do the hard difficulty of these bosses in a 20-minute timer. And once you, for example, if I do hard Lotus in 20 minutes, I will complete this champion mission. I can then move on to Vihila, do this champion mission, do this champion mission. You have to do them in order. And once you do these missions on a character, you will level up your champion slot. And this will give you stats for that champion and all of the other champions. Key note here. Legion and Legion Artifact are account-wide bonuses, yeah? Like, every character on your server will benefit from those powers. For champions, only the champions that you have selected will obtain these bonuses. Now, what bonuses are they? It is crit damage, IED, boss damage, attack, all stat. There's some really good stats here. The best one being crit damage is the SS rank mission. What boss is that? That is defeating Hard Seren in champion mode in 20 minutes. To get there, you have to do Black Mage, Vihila, and Lotus. This is the best one. Kalos is obviously the hardest one. IED is nowhere near as impactful for most players as crit damage. If you have, and this is gonna, if you're not like an endgame gamer, like ignore this. If you have 3 champions at Hard Seren or above, from memory serving me correctly, hopefully, the total FD gain is around 6.6 FD from the stats themselves. There is another system in here called the Champion Buff, which we'll talk about in a second. If you add in the buffs from the Champion Buff and the Champion Stats, your total is around 10 FD for that duration of the Champion Buff. Obviously, when the buff expires, it'll go back down to 6.6. But this whole system combined, if you have all of those relevant champions, plus using the buff at the same time, it's around 10 FD increase for everyone, which is crazy. Super good. Of course, it requires you to have at minimum 3 hard soloing Seren characters, which is why I've been preparing these characters for so long, and it's why everyone is accusing me of a reroller, when in reality, all I've been doing is just preparing for champions. So yeah. Very cool. My rewards are finally paying off for me personally, and I will get a massive power benefit spike straight away, which is super good. There is a second part of Legion Champion called Champion Raid. This is a monthly piece of content. A monthly, which is, I think this is one of the first monthlies we've had, where you will do these stages in like a monster killing area of little bosses at the end, and that your champions will be the characters that you play in this content. Depending on how far you get, and how many bosses you kill, and how long you last in there, you will get these coins, and these coins are what you use to get the champion buff. And again, this champion buff is EXP, crit damage, attack, all stat, boss damage, IED. There's more good stats from here. Now, here's the thing. The coins, obviously, they scale with what level stat you want to increase. This is the stat scaling here. And all of your coins will reset on the 1st of each month, which means you can't just, like, stockpile a bunch of coins, not boss for a couple months, and then, like, use them all in, like, a massive row. They will expire, so there is no point in not using them, right? Don't be like, oh, I'm going to hoard all of them and save them for some... Nah, you just use all of them whenever you get them. If you want to do some bossing in the week, if you want to use them for grinding, like, whatever you want to use it for, just make sure to use them, because they will reset at the end of the week. Or end of the month, sorry. Interactive World Merge. I'm not an interactive player, so it doesn't really apply to me. But if you are in Aurora and Elysium, you are now in Scania. And the 2 interactive worlds are Scania and Bera. There's a bunch of stuff in here about how it'll work for that. There's a world merge event where you can get medals and stuff. Now, Night Troupe is the big juice, yeah? Here we go. There is a daily coin cap where you will get coins from killing monsters. You will have to do a thing called procking to get these coins. We'll talk about that in a minute. And there's a bunch of different cool rewards and stuff you can get from Night Troupe. Typically, Night Troupe is one of the best grinding events of the year. And it's a great time to just like seasonally play MapleStory. There's incredible gains you can make in Night Troupe. One of the main benefits of Night Troupe is all of the buffs that come with it. And there's some crazy stuff here. Okay, this is the party planner. You will spend your event coins to level up your party planner and get various stats. The key important one here is always Rune EXP effect. This permanently gives you like a Sunny Sunday rune boost, which is awesome. You'll get that in week 2. There's a bunch of passive EXP. There's a boss reset clearing ticket. I think you get 3 of these. Yeah, you get 3 boss reset clears. This isn't every boss. It's like limited. You can also get additional Soul Urda fragments and Soul Urda energy from doing Grandis dailies. And then there's other things like boss damage, elite monster, normal damage, buff duration, a bunch of other things like this, which are just kind of useless. And then these are the bosses you can reset all the way from Zakum up until Hard Calling. You cannot reset Limbo. You cannot reset Black Mage because obviously Black Mage is a monthly boss. And you cannot reset extreme bosses. So you can't redo Extreme Lotus. Even though you can do normal and hard, you cannot reset extreme because extreme is an extreme boss. Yeah, makes sense. So if you're coordinating with a party, you could reset some Sea Kalos, get some Eternal Prog. You could reset some Hard Calling, get some Eternal Prog. Even just some normal Calling, right? But this would be super good for just like Eternal gaming. Me personally, I'm probably going to be resetting Gloom, Lucid, and then Gloom again. Because I'll be saving my tickets until the end of the week. And then claiming Gloom twice is my plan. So, how do we interact with all of this, right? How do we get these coins to spend? What do we do? You have to activate some procs, and then you will level up your designer rank. Your designer rank will give you something called the designer buff, and it will unlock a bunch of bonuses. For us, it will be Terra Burnators, a unique scroll, a hair transfer, and a mount transfer. These are kind of useless, in my opinion. The thing I care about from the designer buff is this, yeah? You see it gives 20 crit damage at max rank, and this scales every week. So week 1, when you spawn in, will be a 5 crit damage buff, 10 crit damage, 15, 20 crit damage. All of these stats will scale, and this will stack with all of the other stats that you can get in the event. So cumulatively, and we'll go over it later, you'll be able to get like 20 crit damage, like 60 crit rate, 100 boss damage, 100 EXP percent, like 50 IED. There's a ludicrous amount of stats you can get in this event. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, to use the coins in all of that, it's this here, which is the Sage tickets. Every week, at the start of every week, the first thing you will want to do is select a ticket. There's 2 options. There is one which is purely EXP, and that is this one here, the Path to Sagehood. You will activate a proc after killing, I believe, X amount of monsters. I forget how many it is. And you'll fill up a bottle. This bottle will then give you a buff that will last for 60 seconds. And it scales from 350% to 550%. And this attaches to the EXP percent that you're already on. So say you are grinding currently, and you are at, I don't know, 600%, say, as an example. This would add on top of your 600 to 950. If you then pop a rune, and then pop a, I don't know, like an EXP VIP booster, or like a Hexa booster, and you do that within the window of your Night Troupe buff, you are gaining a ludicrous amount of EXP. So that's really good. Great for grinding. A lot faster to finish off than previous Night Troupes as well, which is quite nice to do. The second variant is called Sogong's Martial Spirit. And this is a just like a fragment and Urda dropping daily that you can do. Now, you're going to look at this, right, and see that, oh, I've completed 6 job, I'm getting, and this is, you're going to, oh, rewards based on your designer rank, and you're going to think this is per proc. as far as I am aware, this is not per proc, and this is the total amount that you get per day. So it says that it procs 5 times. You can fill the gauge, and then you'll get these fragments. And you're going to read this and think that week 1 is 50 fragments per day. It's not. Week 1 is 10 fragments per day. This is the way that the MapleStory players and the TMS players have described it. Who knows? It might be different for us, but based on other servers, this is per day, per day, per day, per day. So it's not as cool as it actually looks, and I would suggest just going for the EXP. If you're strapped for time and you have like 10 minutes to log in every day, you will just cap with the fragment one a lot faster. So if you want to do that, do that. But I'm personally going to be going for the EXP. When we first saw this in TMS, I thought this was per proc, so I was convinced I was going fragments. After learning information from MapleStory and then more from TMS, I'm probably going EXP myself personally, and I'll just do that on the Dawn Warrior. Lantern Bright with Wishes. This is the sponsor buff of this event if you have played a previous Night Troupe. Again, if you have played a previous Night Troupe, this sponsor buff is way worse than it used to be. It's no longer an atmospheric buff that you like spend meso for. It is now a once per day consumable that will give you one of these options, right? 15% EXP or 15% boss and IED. So it's basically a VIP like buff coupon that you'll get 1 per day. It's kind of cool. It's a lot worse than it used to be. Like a lot worse. But that's made up for by the brand new event buff. And this is crazy. The way this works is you'll kill monsters and get some bundles. And these bundles will give you random ingredients. These random ingredients will give you certain stats based on the ingredient you have. I'm going to remove the thought process for you and tell you what you should cook. You should cook 2 bellflowers, 2 mushrooms, and then if you are a mage, probably 1 buff duration for infinity. If you are an archer, probably maple leaf powder for crit rate. And if you are any other class, probably IED for IED. Because you can put 5 ingredients in, right? So you'll put 2 bellflowers, 2 mushrooms, and then I'll put 1 tiger root. You'll then enhance this with a magical medicine at the bottom. You can get these from Rare, or you can buy them from Meso. And these guarantee either max rolls, or like higher rolls, or like the worst rolls. So this is just like perma gambling. But it makes your life a lot easier, because you're going to have to re-cook this event buff multiple times throughout the event, because the event buff itself is temporary. So you'll have to re-cook this. So remember, 2 boss, 2 EXP, and then either a buff duration, a crit rate, or an IED, depending on your class. Very easy to do. Take 7-day expiry, and you'll just cook it every time. You can get all of these ingredients from cooking. If you hit a max roll, I believe the EXP is like 100% or something stupid. There's a chart out there of all the like highest stats you can get. I don't have it to hand, but you can get like 50 ID, like 70 boss, like 40 crit rate, like normal EXP. There's some really crazy stats you can get from this. So if you want to just keep gambling and keep opening it until you get the max rolls, like 100% do it, right? 100%. Super worth it. Okay, now this is one of the best parts. Dogong's Mystic Bond. This is basically a free 260 character in around 8 hours of grinding for your average like end game player. What you do is you select your main and you link a secondary character on your account to your main, and then while grinding on your main, you will obtain EXP for this secondary character. This secondary character will level up at an astronomical speed, and you'll be done with it in like 2 days. And you'll just get a free 260 character like that, like straight away. Super good. Doesn't really need any more explaining, because it is just, you'll get a 260 character for free. It's that simple. Moonlit Dojo. This is a Punch King themed around dojo, where you'll see here in the animation. Pataro is going through all the different dojo floors, doing a Punch King. It's going to be a bit weird. You'll see this like this stage transition and like a spawn delay. If you're in the middle of bursting, this will definitely, like, that phase animation will just eat some of your burst. So, you'll get Troupe coins from this, and you will also get EXP from this. So, very nice to do. I'm going to be doing it on my main. Herbtown Boat Bash. This is the AFK, I believe. You can buy, like, an AFK chair, which will give you more event coins or something. This is like a total waste of time. Just do your procs. It takes like 10 minutes instead of just like sitting in town for the whole time. I don't know. Look at that. You get 15 Troupe coins every 10. I mean, that's not bad. 15 Troupe coins every 10 seconds. Or Troupe points every 10 seconds. I don't know how many points it is per level, right? Not bad. Nogong Acuity Training. Oh, I couldn't read that one. This one unlocks at a later date. This is a, like, shooting gallery kind of mini-game where you'll get a bunch of rewards based on how many things you shoot. Very cool. Fortune Sticks. This opens at a later date. This is a login. Click a button. Get a lucky draw. The jackpot here is a 20-star 250 scroll. Kind of crazy. And then there's cubes, node stones, other bits and bobs in here. Pretty cool stuff. And that's Night Troupe. Well, I'll do a couple more things on Night Troupe in the future because I just think Night Troupe is really cool. But... there's some super nice rewards here. Very cool. Champion Burning. Okay, Champion Double Up. This is where you will have a main character that you are grinding on. You will then pick 2 side characters, and you will kill 100,000 monsters a week, get these coins and points to then use on these side characters to get growth potions, symbols, EXP, like advanced EXP tickets, like all these, or like normal EXP tickets. There's all these kind of things in here that can increase the power of these side characters. With this also comes like a coin shop that you can use on those characters. You can get Erda fragments, growth potions, symbol selectors, node stones, event exclusive rings, cube scrolls, kind of cool stuff. This also expands in the future, later on in the event. It's not in these patch notes, it'll probably be a bit later, where there's like a boss challenge version with like V-Hiller as like a clear boss clear mission and other stuff. There's more to this that will just happen in the future. Quite cool. And that's basically all of the new stuff, because the rest of the patch notes is just Dave the Diver. Because they're bringing Dave the Diver, like, carrying it on, but the shop is completely empty. All of the cosmetic, like, everything is gone, and the only thing you can buy is this weird, like, cape of the tigerfish and the catfish, like, following you around. It's just because they want more people to play Dave the Diver and advertise their own, product. 100% it's fine for the people that enjoy it and want to do it and think it's fun. It's now completely free of charge. There is no limitation. You could play Dave the Diver for 12 hours a day if you wanted to. Pretty cool. And yeah, just like, this is the cape you can buy. When you move, they all get like the exclamation mark above their head. Yeah, kind of cool. And then apart from that, it's just item burning is carrying on, challenge world is carrying on, all this stuff. And then Sunny Sundays down at the bottom. As we know, September 7th is a Shining Star Force. Very good. And that's about it. And then a couple bug fixes at the end. The one cool thing I did see here, right? Resolved an issue where Mitra's authority during Phase 2 Seren sometimes damaged players even when the party was inside the safe zone. What I think this is the FMA test in between every day cycle, right? So when you go from midday to sunset and you have that like laser pillar thing that insta-kills you if someone gets hit by it, what I think this is that. I think that's Mitra's authority, and this is some weird kind of bug fix where even if everyone was safe, someone got hit and then everyone would die. So if that's what I think it is, that's a really good change. There was also something about Lin in here, where resolved an issue where Lin's beak strike would sometimes travel too far during an attack, slowing its attack rate. So this is just a buff to... It's just a buff to Lin. Which, you guys, pretty cool. Pretty cool. And yeah, there we go. I'll link the patch notes in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is cool. And yeah, I'll see you after the 16-hour maintenance. LOL. Bye-bye.